in Toronto, they dumped hundreds of pounds of flour from the lighting truss on us. Ruined some gear, but we didn't care. We had so much gear back then.
Rock, metal, prog, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of Talkin' Rock with Meltdown. Don't forget to follow the audio-only Talkin' Rock podcast on all podcast platforms. And now, it's time for today's conversation. Here's Meltdown.
Well, good to see you guys. I know last night was a hometown show for you guys. And Steve, we were just talking before we started. You're actually home. You guys have decided to stay home for a day and then hop back out on tour.
Yeah, we played our hometown, North Jersey last night at this great rock and roll club we love, Dingbats, our debut show there after all these years of partying there. We finally played there, and when we do a hometown show, it's exhausting to say the least, because it's like Christmas, New Year's, your birthday, high school reunion, everybody you want to see, a lot of people you don't want to see, and it never ends. So we're happy to be home at both of our houses. PJ's down in South Jersey, and I'm up in the mountains of Jersey, and a little time to do some laundry and see the family and whatnot.
Yeah, and this tour just started, didn't it?
Yeah,
so you're already taking time off, man. Slackers, I'm telling you.
We're getting old, man. We're getting old.
I wouldn't say that, man. 3 shows in a row as singers. We need, 3, 4, on the last run we did last May with Enuff Z'Nuff and Boy Floyd and Band Inc. We went out, and PJ, he's involved with all the logistics, and he started the tour. He booked 4 shows in a row, and as the primary singer, I was like, you son of a gun. Thanks for that, man. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Got to keep my eye on the money.
That's right. Yeah. Your money, that's for sure. Maybe you could pull PJ. Maybe you can pull like a Perry Farrell on stage and get a couple days off that way.
Yeah, sounds like they're getting more than a couple days off.
Yeah, they're going to be taking some time off for sure. So this one's called the Spirit of 1989 tour, like you just said. Enuff Z'Nuff, Boy Floyd, and Bad Inc. and Band Inc. I should say. I remember we were just talking about the first interviews that we did, that you guys did with my friend Terry over there in Jersey, and I was talking about what I did. But I remember the first time I saw you guys, and I think PJ, I've talked to you about this before, but it was on the Don Dokken tour, and you guys were on the radio with one of our friends, one of my coworkers in Buffalo, and I walked in with Don, and you guys like, oh, I guess it's time for us to leave. But tell me about that tour.
The Don Dokken tour. Oh my God, that was that was where we, kind of fell in love with Don and got to witness all of his brilliance. And, it was definitely, for us, it was our second tour because we did like 2 weeks of headlining. Then we toured with Stryper. That was our first tour. And then we went right to Don. And Don was on his solo record tour. And, so just coming off the big mountain of success of Dokken, Don always had words of wisdom and stories of gold.
He's still, we still affectionately refer to him as Uncle Don.
Uncle Don, yeah.
He treated us, he put his arm around us and give us speeches. And, I always tell the joke, it was the first time I ever saw somebody at a sound check tell the sound guy what frequency to take out of his vocal or add or something. Me and PJ, we still joke about it to this day when we do sound check. Can you add some more 2.5K to my voice or something like that? But we had a great time. And what was cool about that, he had such a cool band. He had a great band. He had Mickey D from Motorhead and the Scorpions was playing drums. Who was it? Peter Baltis on bass from
Accept, yeah.
And he had John Norum on guitar from Europe, and he had this other guy, Billy White from Texas. He had a killer band, and we had so much fun. We've had so much fun with everybody we've toured with. It's we're blessed.
Didn't you guys? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong, but did you guys tour with Kiss? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in the early '90s as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the Revenge tour.
Ooh, the Revenge tour, man, one of their best records as far as I'm concerned.
Hell yeah.
And what was cool about that, we at the Palace at Auburn Hills, they recorded part of Kiss Alive 3 there. That was, a really really cool moment for us because we were hanging out backstage. They recorded 4 shows, and of course, the Detroit area was there. What broke Kiss. So to be there when they were recording Kiss Alive 3, being able to go into the remote truck with Eddie Kramer, I remember sitting there listening to it, and he would be like, "Oh, Steve, here, listen to Gene's solo bass. Listen to Eric Singer. He's a great drummer, isn't he?"
Man, that's great. Yeah. And
Awesome.
back in those days, so you guys started 40 years ago, and then you guys find some success on the debut record. Like we were just talking, you're touring with Don Dokken, you're touring with Kiss. You thought this is never going to end. We are going to be on top for the rest of our rock and roll lives. Didn't you think that?
Well, that was the plan, but
Wait. Peach, what? It hasn't ended?
It never ended.
What?
So we always, as even though we were cocky little bastards and really excited and had tunnel vision, and it came to us at a young age. We got right on a bus and playing arenas and stuff. We always joked, and we always kind of had our feet cemented to the ground in the sense that we knew at any moment the trap door in Cloud 9 was going to open up, and we always had that in the back of our heads. We didn't know when it was going to drop. We knew it was gonna.
And PJ he knows about this real well. When we first went out on tour, we watched the first month or whatever. Was it the first month or whenever it was? We watched Spinal Tap for 30 days straight. We watched it every day. We had every scene. And what's funny, and it's the truth, every big band, Aerosmith, Van Halen, Kiss, Bon Jovi, they will all tell you the same thing. Spinal Tap is real. And we experience, and still to this day, we experience Spinal Tap moments every day out on the road. But no matter what, we still love it. And I think we love it more than ever. And we appreciate all the success because, again, 40 years later, we're still here doing it at the top of our game.
Yeah, still in the music business. And of course, you got Trixter, and of course, you guys do all sorts of other projects. We'll talk about that. But yeah, you talk about Spinal Tap. I've talked with numerous rock stars, and some love it and some hate it because they're too close to home.
Well, like Steve said, I mean, because we watched so much as kids. I mean, I saw Spinal Tap in the movie theater, but it really it did plant the seed in our heads, like, hey, this is real. This could happen to us too. So it was, it wasn't just a comedy. It's definitely some schooling and preparation.
Dude, we're on our 4th or 5th drummer right now. So yeah, Stumpy Joe Peeps. Where did he go? Stumpy Joe Peeps.
Tall blonde geek with glasses.
Yeah. Well, Sunday at the Talkin, it's going to be the puppet show and then Trixter, right? Is that how that works?
We're going to get the bigger dressing room, though.
You had to do that? That's okay, man. As long as Puppet Show brings a couple hundred people, we'll be happy.
That's right.
Right.
It's like we say. It's like we always say. We're just happy to be here.
Yeah, no doubt. So, you guys got this show coming up, and like I said, you're back out on tour. And Steve, tell me about you got your Ace Frehley shirt on. You just showed me the Ace Frehley guitar a few minutes ago, and of course, you're a big part of his last record. Tell me about your relationship with Spaceman.
Well, Ace, PJ knows we've been friends with Ace for a couple decades now, 30 years. I remember we hung out with him at a Kiss convention back in 1992 with Eddie Trunk, and we've always seen him around, go see him, and he always treated us like gold. And a couple years ago, I have this other band called Tokyo Motor Fist. We wound up opening up a couple shows with Ace, and a bunch of people in his organization were just saying, man, you and Ace got to get together. My production skills and songwriting, they thought it would be a perfect marriage, and it certainly was. And I came up with a couple ideas that Ace and I continued to finish. And it was the beginning of an incredible relationship, an incredible friendship, because we're like best bros. We have so much fun together, and we made an incredible record together with the help of PJ. Played bass on 3 of the songs on the record. He played on the title track, 10,000 Volts. And, Ace was reunited with his famed and his rock and roll brother Anton Fig, who played drums on 3 songs, played on 10,000 Volts. So I mean, it's a dream come true. Look, it's no secret what a Kiss fan I am, PJ. Kiss and Van Halen were the two bands that made me want to play music, and still to this day are the two bands that give me the most inspiration. So to be able to write songs with Ace Frehley, produce his record, and more than anything, have so much fun and see a guy who's been making records for 50 years, 72 years old when we started making the record, have so much fun doing it, and put a lot of passion into it. And again, look, it's no secret. Ace he's known, and he's the first to admit he can be somewhat of a lazy guy. But when he came to work, we would always. He mustered it up, and he really put everything he had into making this record with me, and we're just so proud of it.
The one of the things I thought of when I found out that you guys were working together and you guys put up this record and the whole thing did you feel any pressure being a huge Kiss fan not to make like a record that wasn't great?
Well, look, the whole goal from day one was, I said, as what I consider to be myself, being the biggest Kiss fan in the world and such an Ace fan, it was Ace and Eddie Van Halen were the two reasons I started playing guitar. I just said to myself, what would I want to hear? What would I want to hear? And look, man, I've been producing and making records for 30 plus years now. So I know how to write a song. I know how to produce, engineer, do everything. But again, it was about, I wanted to give, and I've said this numerous times over to new Kiss fans all around the world. I made this record, Ace and I made this record, not for us. We made it for all of us fans, all the Ace fans, all the Kiss fans. So Ace and I tried to go down and check all the boxes. And I think we did that, because you can certainly hear, and I think 10,000 Volts is a career defining record for Ace, in the sense that if he never makes another all original record, this is a perfect way to show somebody what Ace was, let's say, back in 1978 with his 78 solo record, which is untouchable. That's a masterpiece. We all know that. And I know that there was some stuff thrown around the press of saying that, Ace said, oh, this is better than the 78 record, or what I said or whatnot, because that's a whole nother animal. As you know, the clickbait one-line headlines that made a lot of headlines with this record. But at the end of the day, it was about making the best record we possibly could together. And like I said, bringing in a great cast. Ace was very gracious in letting me do my thing, which is, I always say, I got to bring my guys in for this. And PJ has been there for so many projects outside of Trixter, his solo stuff and things. And because, I've said it numerous times, and I'll say it again, PJ is one of the best rock bass players on the planet. For 10,000 Volts, the title track, I didn't have to tell him anything. I said, dude, you know what to do. And he sent me back this bass track. It was perfect. Nothing needed to be fixed. Just like Anton Fig. He plays the perfect drum parts for an Ace Frehley song. Ace and I never had to tell him what to do. Ace just said, Anton, just do your thing. You know what to do. And it's perfection. So that's really cool.
Yeah, Anton, going back to his solo days, and David Letterman as well. And PJ, it's like we have a mutual friend, not only with Ace, but with Jason Hartless, who I think was with us last time I saw you here in Detroit, correct?
Yeah. Yep. I just saw him last week, actually.
Oh, in Nashville or somewhere?
Yeah, of course. First person I see walking into Bridgestone Arena going to see Sammy Hagar. Before I even get the second foot in the door, there he is.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Jason is Ted Nugent's drummer, and he's he started young as Ted Nugent's drummer. What is he, like 30 now, I think, right?
Is he that old already?
He might not be. I don't know.
I don't think he is. Could be wrong, though.
It's cool. And then, of course, we got to give a shout out to Chris and the guys at the Pod of Thunder.
Of course. Of course. Blowing up my phone as we speak.
Are they really?
Oh, we have a great group text, me, Jericho, and those guys. It's never ending.
Yeah, I'll be talking to Jericho a little bit later on. But PJ, tell me about working with Eric Martin and Jason.
Yeah, it was cool because actually Jason had reached out to me. We signed up to go on tour with Michael Schenker, and it was just like an acoustic trio we were hired as. And Jason hit me up. He's like, "Hey, if you looking for a drummer, I was like, kind of am. And it's kind of sight unseen for Eric. Eric had never met him, didn't really see him play. I mean, I basically just vouched for him. I said, look, you don't need to see him play. Trust me, and it was just a great run. It was obviously Jason's a maniac drummer, and Eric loved him. It was a lot of fun, and it's funny because I see him in Nashville last week, and then we went next door to JBJ. We wound up jamming to we start jamming with Tyson Leslie's doing the house band over there. And what do? We play two Mr. Big songs. Can't escape it.
Yeah, and Jason played with John Bon Jovi there, not like right around the same time.
Yeah. Well, I think Jason's like the house drummer on Fridays there, so he's it was bound to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were going to say, Steve, you pointed. I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
Oh no, I'm just playing air drums. That's what I like to. I like to do my Jason Hartless impressions.
Oh, I can't wait to send him this. Okay. But anyway, so hey, Steve, you're just talking about how you've written and recorded and stuff for the past several years. I mean, is there anything new that you guys are working on?
Yeah, I mean, PJ and I are always working on music. I mean, that's the beauty of having a home studio. I've lived in this house for 31 years, and the first thing, 2 weeks after I moved in, I started building this studio. So it's the greatest investment I ever made, and we're so always making music, whether it's for us or other people, and but yeah, we are slowly working on some new Trixter stuff. I mean, how do I say it? It just has to be the right time for us for something new for Trixter, because we have a new sort of configuration of the band, which I've kind of taken over the lead vocal reins, because Pete has kind of retired from singing, or what, he's not playing live anymore. So we had PJ and I had to make a decision. Are we going to continue on? And it was a resounding yes. After 2.5 years ago, we started doing some acoustic shows, and it felt so great. And then it just kind of morphed back into this new, version of Trixter, which is a 3-piece. We have our friend Ben Hands on drums, and who sings like a mofo. So the three of us do these vocals that, the Trixter, when we were out on the road back in the day, we would do that. And now we have this voice who can also play drums. So it's like, we kind of really are into the fact that we love, in this day and age with so many bands that are using tracks and tomfoolery, that three of us go out and, like I said before, playing at the highest level. And I feel like PJ and I and Ben, we're at the best we've ever been in our careers. So singing all the songs in all the original keys, playing them, no backing tracks, singing all the vocal parts, it really means so much to us. And I think that's a lot that's missing in rock and roll lately.
Yeah.
To get to your point, though, as far as releasing new Trixter stuff, I mean, we'll have stuff. Yeah, like Steve said, the right scenario has to exist, because, man, you know what it's like putting a record out for the artist. You have to give everything. You have to do everything, and it's not enough to just write the songs and record it. It's all the other BS that goes along that we have to do. And there's not a lot in return for it. Not that, I mean, the payoff for us is obviously getting it out and letting people hear it. But, when you put so much effort into a record, you need a vehicle to help you. You need help to get it to people so that it warrants doing it in the first place, or going through the painstaking ordeal of manufacturing it, trying to sell it, set it up, and but we have to do all that. So it's just a lot more involved than just making a record and putting it out there.
Yeah, and you know a lot. You know about that with Fozzy. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, and what PJ was saying is totally true. And again, we're working on some things. We have some cool stuff in the works, and hopefully everything comes to fruition to where it's going to give us the perfect vehicle to do this, because we were fortunate, when we put the band back together in 2007, the original band, a couple years after we put the band back together, and we took it to another level. We were so happy to be back together. The band was playing and singing better than ever. And in 2010, I wrote some songs, and I said to the guys, I said, I'd really love to make a new record. And it took a little bit of convincing, but luckily we had Frontiers Records. They offered us a really nice 2-record deal, and we made 2 phenomenal records, New Audio Machine and Human Error, which came out. New Audio Machine came out in 2011, and Human Error in 2015.
15, yeah.
And the really cool thing is that it took us that long, but we believe in quality over quantity. So what I'm proud to say, and I believe PJ feels the same way, that here's a band that 20 plus years after making their first 2 great records from the heyday, they came back and made 2 records that we feel are equally as good, if not better, than the records from the past.
Mhm.
So we want to make sure that it's something special, and it's just not putting out new music for the sake of putting out new music, because again, we're not going anywhere. We got plenty of time. We just want to make sure there's the right vehicle to promote it and get it out there, so there's a little bit something extra special involved with it.
Well, since you mentioned the word tomfoolery, I'm going to throw a crazy thing at you guys as well. So you guys, you kind of got back together with Pete earlier this year. Would there be any chance he could sing on a couple of these songs? Like I said, it's Crazy Town suggestion.
No, look, Pete is always welcome. He built this house with us, and he's always welcome to come back. He came and sang 3 songs with us back in, when was that, March or April, when we played Arizona, Peach?
Yeah. Yep. Came out, and I think it was the first time he performed in a couple of years, and but it was great. It was awesome just to get in the room together. The 3 of us was amazing, and then get up on stage and sing with us. It was just just like it was always there.
So with that, to answer your question, it's I think, again, I would always offer it to them. It would have to be the right thing, and again, we sort of have a new thing now that we're doing, and we're proving it night after night when we go out and play live. My biggest compliment that I get from people who go, they just go, wow, you guys sound as good as you ever did. Because there's a lot of people who don't even realize, sad to say, that, the younger generation, they don't know all the original members. So when you go out sometimes, you play, the people go, wow, you guys sound just like the record. That's a big compliment, and again, especially since we're doing this as a 3-piece. And at the end of the day, look, this is what we love to do, whether it's making music in the studio or getting in a car and driving all around the country. Look, a lot of people are not built for this the way we do it, but PJ and I, touring, making music, playing music, whether I have a guitar company now, all of this stuff, it's in our blood, it's in our heart and soul. We can't not do anything else. And last night at our gig, PJ said something that was really simple, but so profound. PJ and I have been playing together since he was 16 and, I was 17. And long story short, we don't know anything else, man. So it's not brain surgery. This is what we have to do, but we love it. And for me personally, I'm loving it now more than ever. So, and I think that really shines through in our performances as well.
Well, it's like the old saying. I mean, it doesn't have to be said. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. My son just reminded me of that the other day. Because that's a story for another time. But yeah, it's like, it's so great that you guys have been in this business 40 years now.
Yeah.
As of the summer, it's kind of hard to fathom. I've been in it for 35. It seems kind of crazy to even say out loud.
Hey man, time flies when you're having fun, and we've been, PJ and I have been through the ups and downs, the lefts and rights, every peak and valley of this business, playing with different people, but we've always come back to each other, and that is the universal story about perseverance, brotherhood. I mean, he's my best friend in the world, my brother. It's not even, we finish each other's sentences, so the closeness, we don't even have to talk. We just look at each other and we know what to do. And that's something that's very rare, and we don't take it for granted. But at the end of the day, we have still to this day, we have so much fun together because, as we say, music is our passion, but comedy, yeah, music is the way we make our living, but comedy is our passion. So our comedic,
Comedy is how we get through it.
yes, because all we do all day long, man, and anybody who's around us will tell you, all we do is try to out joke each other. And with Eric, it's the same thing. When we're with Chris Jericho, Joey Casada, all we do is try to make each other laugh. And that saying, laughter is the best medicine, is so true.
All right, I'll just throw it out there. What's the best prank you guys have pulled on somebody?
Oh God.
Oh God.
The best
I don't know. I think,
prank.
and Steve loves this one, but I would always like take a snapshot of someone's Facebook page, and then take like a less than desirable picture from many different categories, maybe, and Photoshop it into their little default picture, and then send it to them and say, "Hey, you got hacked, man. You
Oh,
got to change.
dude.
Somebody changed
Oh.
your default picture," and they go to look at it on their phone and like, "What? It looks the same to me." Like, that's not what's showing on my phone. Man. Like, yeah, I got to get to my computer. It won't let me change it to my phone, and it freaks them out. I've done it to so
Oh,
many people. And it just sends
mind blowing.
shockwaves.
His stealth abilities, where he would do it, I've seen him do it with band members on stage, where he'd grab their phone, and if they didn't have their phone locked, he'd be able to get it and do it like while playing bass with one hand, be able to change somebody. I mean, mind blowing, but the funniest shit in the world, man. Oh my God.
What's the biggest prank someone played on you guys?
Oh, so are you talking about like touring pranks?
Yeah, something on stage or anything like that? Anything like that ever?
Definitely
Yeah.
the warrant. I think definitely the warrant. End of the first leg of the Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour. We were in Toronto, and they dumped I mean, hundreds of pounds of flour from the lighting truss
Yeah.
on us, and came out and poured beer on us and everything. And it literally took me a month to get it all out of my hair, ruined some gear. It
Yeah.
was an absolute mess. I mean, and like it really ruined gear, but we didn't care. We had so much gear back then. But I think their crew didn't like it very much because they're the ones who had to clean it up. But,
And then on that was on the Blood, Sweat, and Beer tour. And then you remember on the last night of the tour in California, they put plastic tarps down all over the stage, and they poured Crisco oil on the stage. So we had to play on that, dude. It was the craziest thing in the world. It was like ice skating on the slipperiest ice you could ever imagine. We're trying to play guitar and our feet slipping out. It was unbelievable.
Did you ever get them back?
Yeah, and not really. It's hard, man, when you're not the headliner. The headliner, they got all their roadies and shit, and they're watching and they're going, "You better not do that. You're not gonna get paid, man."
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you guys this coming Sunday with the guys from Enuff Z'Nuff, Pretty Boy Floyd, and Band Inc. And I got to get going because I have to, PJ, I have to talk to your boss coming up here in a little bit.
Oh wow, back to back, huh?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, the Rock and Rager at Sea. Are you guys doing that?
Trixter's not doing it, but I'm always, Fozzy, Quarantine. Yep.
Yeah,
I always have at least 2 bands on that ship. This year it's 2. Last year was 3. The first year might have been 4. So yeah, I'm a worker on there.
well, maybe one day Trixter can open up for Fozzy or vice versa, and he can Quarantine just tour like a whole, just to stay on the stage the whole time.
Yeah, I mean it was close last year. We had Trixter on the ship. So
Yeah. Well, good talking to you guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys here Sunday.
All right, buddy. See you then.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.